Okay. I'm here to talk about me and you, but this is me. I'm also available with and without hair occasionally, depending upon what time of year it is. I want to talk about how it's not just the physicality of me. All of these things are me as well. My Facebook profile that I actually did delete 2 years ago, LinkedIn, MySpace, YouTube, all of these things, various websites, and I'm really glad that you didn't find some of the stuff that's out there. If all of that is me, as well as the physical me, what is it that makes us, us? Because it's not just our biology. There's something much, much more about what we are and who we are to each other when we think about it. It's the stuff that we say and do, the things that we make, what we express. All of these are parts of us. That's how we think about other people, by the interactions and the interventions that we have with the world and with each other. If we take this idea of how we define ourselves, we start to realize that we're not defined as being inside our skin. Actually, the limits of who we are, when we think about it, is very diffuse. There's a big gradient that goes on beyond the edge of our skin. These are quotes from a very great thinker, a guy called Robert Pepperell, who wrote The Post-Human Condition. He says that consciousness is not restricted to the brain. It's a function of an organism, not of an organ. And if we think about it, the human organism's changing, and we've been changing for a long time, and we're changing ourselves. For millions of years, we've been extending our bodies, to extend our arms and our legs, to be able to fly, to be able to talk to people thousands of miles away and hear them from great distances. And we started augmenting our mental abilities as well. This is the first computer I ever had. It was awesome. It did nothing, but it had an alphabetic keyboard and a tape player. We store our thoughts external to our bodies now. We use our abilities outside our bodies. Increasingly, we're expressing them digitally. And it used to be that we extended ourselves by using analog technology, paper, writing. But now we're doing it digitally. And the digital data is fluid. It's active. It's alive. One of the other parts of what I'm interested in is, since before history, we've been interested in what happens next. From cave paintings through to all the major religions, art, literature, everything. It's been a preoccupation. And I think what we want and need is an afterlife. It's referenced everywhere around us, in contemporary culture, and even in what we think about of the future in science fiction and so on. It's there everywhere. And previous generations are still around through the things that they expressed. We experience Shakespeare, we interact with Shakespeare, we interact with Henry VIII. We can still interact with something of them, but the legacies and personalities that we have are passive. But digital is not passive, it's active, which makes me think, is it possible that we can actually build a digital afterlife? I mean, in a real way, not just about, can I pass on my digital stuff to my children? Is there some transcendence there? The problem is that currently, all of the parts of me that are expressed digitally are owned by all of these people. And there is a problem with that, but it's starting to happen. There's lots and lots of projects talking about bringing that under our own behavior, under our own control. One of the interesting things I've been seeing recently is what I would call simple emergent behavior. Very, very simple bits of behavior that are happening in the digital parts of me automatically, not passively, where Foursquare, etc., are posting things automatically. And where that goes, I think, is potentially a science fiction type future of an afterlife. In science fiction, updating, uploading, downloading, living on digitally in some form is there everywhere. And if we're interested in having it, we need to think about starting to make it now. If we want it in 100 years' time, we've got to start making it somewhere. And I think what we have to talk about and discuss, which is why I'm here this evening, is whether we want to do this. I think the first things that we need to talk about are taking control of our own information, first and foremost, that it's not just a business positive externality of buying something. And then we need to be able to aggregate all of that information so it's under our own control, so we can decide what we want to do with it, make use of it or not. And then in the long term, 100 years hence, maybe we can do this whole sci-fi uploading thing. Maybe you don't want to, but that's a discussion we need to have. But the people that are now being called digital natives, like this young man here, born after 2000, are living very different lives where digital is integrated in who they are. So we need to start to think, I believe, where are we going and how do we want to live when we've finished? Because I think there's something very different and very exciting happening right now. Thank you.